Hi everyone, this is Sharad Kumar. I'm sure you've seen him in the news because he won the bronze medal for India in Paralympics in Tokyo 2020. This is an honor for me to be sitting next to him and chat about his journey. So, we were friends from 2015 in IMG Academy. He's a true inspiration and I've known him from my days in the US. So, today I want to introduce you to him and hear a little bit about his journey. So, thank you so much, Sharad.
Thank you very much for having me. And of course, you're not just anyone for me, you're a friend, a very dear friend. Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey for now because, see, at the end, everybody sees the sweet results, but the hard work that has been done for the last decade or so, it's been just for me, I think, and that's when I realized the real pain that I had gone through to get all the pleasure now. For me, it's been about 17 years of doing high jump. So I was about 12 years old when I was doing high jump, and now finally I'm getting all the recognition, which the highest one being the Arjuna Award from the government of India. So yeah, I think never too late, but yes, it is a nice piece of struggle I think I've had, and now the journey's been worth it.
Yeah, and in 2010, he won the gold medal at Asian Games and he got his position back as the world number one in high jump. After the bronze medal, he's world number 3 now, and I think that's still amazing for our country, for our athletes, our younger generation to derive inspiration. So, Sharad, if you can tell me, how did your journey towards sports begin? What inspired you?
My brother was an athlete, and most importantly, I was in an institution in Darjeeling for which, like, sports and education is very much compulsory and equally important. You couldn't skip either one of them, either the class or the sports ground. So that's where the sports became very much compulsory to us in our lives. And of course, it was better than being in the classroom for sure for most of us athletes. I mean, most of us students too. My brother was quite a popular guy for his sports all over the district, amongst the girls' school, boys' school, everywhere. He was very popular. And when I used to go back home, I used to go back with a storybook which I won for spellwell competitions, and he used to go with hundreds of certificates and medals and cups. And Dad used to be very happy with him. So of course, now I realize in the new book which I read about sibling rivalries, which Matthew Syed writes, where he says that real challenges and champions were born out of sibling rivalries. Mm-hmm. So this is where I feel that when I wanted to prove my brother wrong or maybe be the better one is what I have got now. So yeah, this is how it started for me, sports. And now it's come all the way till here. But yeah, basically it was with the sibling rivalry.
That's when I think competitive spirit and attitude begins right at a young age, and you want to perform and be better. So I think that's a great example. I should read that book. So my next question is, how was the intense training? Was it taking a toll on your mental health, and what was the kind of journey you had up until you became world number one?
See, I'd like to take this opportunity out and say that Tokyo Paralympics was more of a awareness program, or maybe a program and not a sports competition, because see, most of us athletes have been going through tough times with mental health. You might name it Nisa, the one from the US Open,
Naomi Osaka.
Yeah, and then you might name 2-3 other the gymnasts and also a few of the runners, and many people who have actually gone through different body formations after taking up sports. They try to say that it's not about winning all the time. It's about how much you like doing certain things, and it's not necessarily that you have to finish on the podium to be happy. And the amount of stress and training we do actually is because we are under pressure to perform now. Before, we used to do sports for the passion and for the love we had for the game, but now it is to prove that we are the best, and there's so much other people who are banking upon us, and that's when we lose the liking for the game. For me too, like when I tried to train in Ukraine for the last 5 years, it was very easy in the first 3 months for a year, but then after that it started getting very hard and difficult, because firstly, it's a country where nobody speaks English, and secondly, the fact that the weather is always a spoiled spot. You tend to be very dull when it's very, very cold. And thirdly, because I was all by myself alone there and more from training, it was just about sports. I think I'm the only athlete that has done that in 5 years, that stayed in another country and only trained for sports particularly. Uh, but I'm very grateful that it was all funded by the government and everything was given by them. A to Z, my accommodation, my fooding, my coach's fees, my traveling, my international competition exposures. So all these things were there, but yet the love for the game was getting lost, and that's when the problem started. That you started questioning, was it this what you want? A thing that you don't like anymore and keep doing it just so that you get your recognition or due recognition or under pressure. So at the end, it was more than just liking, but to prove that I'm the best at it. And that's when the tools started coming to me, and it just started getting worse and worse. And there were competitions that I won, there were monetary funds I was getting, everything was happening. But the whole idea of performing the art which I knew, high jump, was getting lost. I was just wanting to cross and let the competitions finish. And that's where it's really problems are. And at the end, I started speaking to a couple of people also that, I'm going through such a problem in my life, like health issue has become very serious. I don't wish to talk to anybody, I don't wish to mingle with anybody, I'm feeling everybody to be irritating, I don't think anybody's understanding me. So I was being more of a person of like alone. So I thought like it is all going to be a waste. I used to start crying all of a sudden on my own. It was taking a big toll in my life. But now I think with coming back to India and back to my parents and back to all the recognition, the government making me feel like a family, it just shows that it was all worth it at the end of the day.
Amazing. So that reminds me of the time when I started hating tennis as an athlete as well, because of the pressure and the expectations. And when you don't perform well, you start questioning yourself. So my next question would be, what was the feeling like when you realized you won the bronze, and how was it to stand on the podium with the world praising you?
See, the first part is like Tokyo did not have any spectators to see the game, so of course it was more like any other event this time we felt. But hats off to Tokyo that even in the pandemic times that they did the competition and made us feel that we athletes are also very much wanted. The fact that of course I was going for a gold medal. I've trained well, I was at the best of my health and peaking, and I was performing at every competition. I was getting gold medals almost everywhere. So I was expecting the same. Nevertheless, I got bronze. But even with the consideration of the things what I've gone through in Tokyo was like gold, like the bronze is like the new gold for me, because I was injured at prior day to the competition where I tore my meniscus grade 1 and I wasn't even able to take off. And at the end I was just like feeling happy about like how important this bronze also feels, because when we all fit and fine, we don't even consider what is bronze. Imagine if I was out of that bronze too. And then you would know what the real feeling of not being a medalist at all would be. Yeah. So I think bronze is a new goal for me. Even with the injury I got, I'm glad it happened. And of course after that, the amount of recognition the government is giving, I would always want to highlight that, is incredible. We know that we are not anymore third-rate citizens. We are very much important people who can help in the nation building. And we are when given the right opportunity, we are coming at the most powerful stages, and we are preaching well, like for the 3% of the physically challenged people who are there in this country. We are trying to make them very active and realize that we all can be part of the whole growth of the country.
Wow, that is amazing. Absolutely loved it. And now the last question is, what was the feeling while receiving the Arjuna Award?
That is the best part of it. I'll see. I used to not like these award functions because I used to see every time there was a new athlete getting an award and my name could never come up for uncertain reasons. But then another thing is like in life, if you really are a really focused person, remember that anything that comes in your life has to have 10,000 hours or 10 years. And I exactly joined Paralympics, the international motion, in 2010 and 11. So that is now 2021, it's a decade.
Wow.
So that's when you know that this is the real achievement, because after 10 years of hard work and labor is what I got. And that too, I did not have to apply. The government beneficially just added my name that Sharad should get this. And that is the feeling that nobody can take or match it. It's amazing that you don't have to ask for it. You are given because they have admired what you have done for the last 10 years in the field of sports.
Absolutely.
So that is the best part, and I'm really glad that this government has taken such an initiative to make everybody feel that you are important, and now or less or later your recognition will be there for the work you have done. And that's what the whole idea is, to be feeling the importance of that. Yes, you have done something, and we are getting that now.
So proud of you, Sharad. And I wish you all the best for your upcoming competition, and congratulations. God bless you, and thank you so much for sparing a few minutes to talk to my YouTube audience.
Thank you very much. I hope this goes on well with all your viewers there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for seeing this video too.
Definitely. I would encourage you to read about him, find information on Google about his journey, and it is very inspiring. You will be looking up to him for sure. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a like and do share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.